Over 60, 5 Japanese morning moves that keep elders pain-free and strong. Imagine waking up every morning feeling like your body is decades younger than your actual age. Picture yourself moving through your day without that familiar ache in your lower back, without the stiffness in your knees that makes getting out of bed feel like climbing a mountain, and without that constant worry about whether your body will cooperate with your plans. If you are over 60 and tired of feeling like your own body has become your enemy, if you have tried countless medications, expensive therapies, and complicated exercise routines only to find temporary relief at best, then what I am about to share with you today could be the answer you have been desperately searching for. These 5 simple Japanese morning movements have been keeping Japanese elders not just mobile, but remarkably strong and pain-free well into their 80s and 90s for over 1,000 years. While Western medicine focuses on treating symptoms after they appear, these ancient techniques work by addressing the root causes of age-related pain and weakness before they can take hold of your life. You will discover how just 10 minutes each morning can unlock a level of vitality and freedom of movement that most people half your age would envy. And the best part is that you can do these movements right from your bedroom without any special equipment or expensive memberships. Before we dive into these life-changing techniques, I want you to do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now because this channel is dedicated to sharing authentic health solutions that actually work, not just temporary fixes that waste your time and money. Also, make sure to click the first link below this video to learn about a natural supplement that can accelerate these results by up to 200%, helping you feel stronger and more pain-free even faster than these movements alone. Now let me tell you about Mrs. Tanaka, an 87-year-old woman I met during my research trip to Okinawa, one of the world-famous blue zones where people regularly live past 100 in remarkable health. When I first saw her tending to her garden at sunrise, moving with the grace and flexibility of someone decades younger, I assumed she must have exceptional genetics or access to some cutting-edge medical treatment. What I discovered instead was that she had been practicing the same 5 simple movements every morning for over 40 years. Movements that were passed down to her by her grandmother, who lived to be 103. Mrs. Tanaka told me that before she started these practices in her late 40s, she was already experiencing the chronic back pain, joint stiffness, and fatigue that she assumed were just inevitable parts of aging. Within 6 months of consistent practice, not only had her pain disappeared, but she felt stronger and more energetic than she had in her 30s. What makes these movements so powerful is that they work with your body's natural healing mechanisms rather than against them, gently awakening dormant muscle groups, improving circulation to areas that modern sedentary living has essentially shut down, and rebalancing the delicate relationship between your nervous system and your musculoskeletal system. The first movement is called Gentle Dragon Awakening, and it focuses on what Japanese practitioners call the life energy pathway that runs along your spine. Most people over 60 wake up with what feels like a stiff board where their spine should be, making even simple movements like turning to look over your shoulder feel difficult and uncomfortable. This happens because during sleep the small muscles between your vertebrae essentially go into hibernation, and the longer you have been sedentary, the deeper this hibernation becomes. The Gentle Dragon Awakening works by systematically reactivating these muscles through a series of slow, controlled spinal movements that feel more like a luxurious stretch than exercise. You begin by lying on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the bed, placing your hands gently on your lower ribs. As you breathe in slowly through your nose, you allow your spine to lengthen and create a small arch in your lower back, imagining that a gentle string is pulling the top of your head toward the headboard. As you exhale through your mouth, you reverse this movement, gently pressing your lower back toward the mattress while drawing your chin slightly toward your chest. The key is to move so slowly that each complete cycle takes about 30 seconds, and to focus on creating movement in each individual vertebra rather than moving your spine as one rigid unit. Most people notice an immediate difference in how their back feels after just 5 complete cycles, and those who practice this consistently report that their chronic back pain begins to fade within the first week. What makes this movement particularly effective for people over 60 is that it addresses both the physical stiffness and the neural pathways that control spinal movement, essentially teaching your nervous system to remember how to support your spine properly throughout the day. If you are enjoying this content and finding it helpful, please take a moment to give this video a like and make sure you are subscribed to our channel. The techniques I am sharing today represent decades of research and traditional wisdom that most people never get access to, and your support helps us continue bringing you this valuable information. Remember to check the first link below to discover the natural supplement that can amplify these results dramatically. Now let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about your answer. How long has it been since someone truly listened to what you are going through with your health? Not a doctor who spends 5 minutes with you before writing a prescription, not family members who mean well but do not really understand, but someone who genuinely gets how frustrating it is to feel trapped in a body that does not cooperate anymore. I know that feeling because I hear from people like you every single day, people who have tried everything and are starting to wonder if this is just how the rest of their lives are going to be. That is exactly why I want you to do something right now. In the comments below, simply write the words "I am ready for change" and add one sentence about the biggest physical challenge you are facing right now. It might be something like "I am ready for change, my knees hurt every time I go upstairs," or "I am ready for change, I cannot sleep through the night because of back pain." Do not worry about writing something perfect or long, just those simple words and your biggest challenge. Here is why this is so important. First, when you write down your intention to change, you are actually activating the same neural pathways that successful athletes and performers use to improve their results. Second, you are joining a community of people who understand exactly what you are going through, and many of them will share their own experiences and encouragement in the replies. I personally read every single comment, and often respond with additional tips specific to what you are dealing with. This is not just about engagement or algorithm stuff. This is about creating real connection and support for your healing journey. So please, take 30 seconds right now to write "I am ready for change" and share what you are struggling with. Your future self will thank you for taking this small but powerful step. The second movement is called Mountain River Flow, and it targets what traditional Japanese medicine considers the foundation of physical vitality in older adults: the relationship between your core muscles and your breathing system. If you have ever noticed that you feel winded after simple activities that used to be effortless, or if you feel like your balance is not what it used to be, this movement can begin reversing those changes within days. The problem is that as we age, most of us develop shallow breathing patterns that only use the top portion of our lungs, while the deep stabilizing muscles of our core essentially go to sleep from lack of proper activation. Mountain River Flow reawakens this connection by combining gentle core engagement with deep diaphragmatic breathing in a way that feels natural and relaxing rather than strenuous. You start by sitting on the edge of your bed with your feet flat on the floor and your hands resting on your thighs. Close your eyes and imagine that there is a mountain spring bubbling up from deep in your pelvis, and as you breathe in slowly through your nose, you visualize this spring water flowing up through your torso and out the top of your head. As the imaginary water rises, you gently engage your deep abdominal muscles, not by sucking in your stomach but by drawing your navel gently back toward your spine as if you are slowly zipping up a loose jacket. On the exhale, you imagine the water flowing back down through your body and pooling again in your pelvis while you release the gentle tension in your core. The entire movement should feel like a slow internal massage, and each complete breath cycle should take about 45 seconds. What makes this movement so effective is that it retrains your diaphragm to work properly, which not only improves your breathing efficiency but also provides natural support for your spine and internal organs. People who practice Mountain River Flow consistently report improvements in their energy levels, balance, and even digestion within the first 2 weeks because proper breathing is fundamental to every other system in your body. The third movement is called Willow Branch Sway, and it addresses one of the most common yet overlooked causes of pain and stiffness in people over 60, the gradual shortening and tightening of the fascia, the connective tissue that wraps around every muscle in your body. Think of fascia like a three-dimensional spiderweb that connects everything from your toes to the top of your head. When this tissue becomes tight and dehydrated, which happens naturally with age and inactivity, it creates tension patterns that can cause pain in areas that seem completely unrelated to where you actually feel the discomfort. For example, tightness in the fascia around your hip flexors can cause lower back pain, while restrictions in your shoulder fascia can create neck pain and headaches. Willow branch sway works by creating gentle flowing movements that help rehydrate and lengthen this connective tissue throughout your entire body. You begin standing beside your bed with your feet hip-width apart and your arms relaxed at your sides. Imagine that you are a willow tree with deep roots and flexible branches, and that a gentle breeze is starting to move through your leaves. Starting from the top of your head, you begin to sway very slowly from side to side, letting the movement travel down through your neck, shoulders and spine like a wave moving through water. The key is to initiate each movement from the very top of your head and let it cascade down through your body naturally, rather than forcing or controlling the motion. As you sway to the right, you feel a gentle lengthening along the left side of your body from your fingertips to your toes, and as you sway to the left, you feel the same pleasant stretching sensation on your right side. Each complete side-to-side cycle should take about 60 seconds, and you should perform 5 complete cycles. The beauty of this movement is that it addresses multiple systems simultaneously, improving circulation, reducing muscle tension, and enhancing the flexibility of your fascia in a way that feels more like dancing than exercising. Regular practitioners often notice that chronic tension headaches disappear, that their shoulders feel looser throughout the day, and that they sleep more deeply because their entire body feels more relaxed. Please take a moment to like this video if you are finding value in these ancient techniques, and remember to subscribe so you never miss our latest health discoveries. The fourth movement is called crane takes flight, and it specifically targets the mobility and strength of your hips and legs, which are absolutely crucial for maintaining independence and confidence as you age. Most people over 60 have some degree of hip stiffness, and this creates a cascade of problems throughout the rest of the body. When your hips cannot move through their full range of motion, your lower back has to compensate, leading to pain and stiffness there. Your knees and ankles also suffer because they have to work harder to make up for what your hips cannot do, and eventually this compensation pattern affects your balance and increases your risk of falls. Crane takes flight reverses this process by gently restoring hip mobility while simultaneously strengthening the deep stabilizing muscles that support your pelvis. You start by standing behind a chair or at the foot of your bed, using one hand for light support and balance. Imagine that you are a graceful crane preparing for flight, and your leg movements should have that same slow, deliberate quality. Begin by slowly lifting your right knee toward your chest, but instead of just lifting it straight up, trace a large circle in the air with your knee, starting by bringing it toward your chest, then moving it out to the side, then back behind you as far as is comfortable, then back to the starting position. This circular motion should take about 30 seconds to complete, and you should focus on moving smoothly and continuously rather than stopping at any point in the circle. Perform 5 circles in one direction, then 5 circles in the other direction, then repeat the entire sequence with your left leg. What makes this movement so effective is that it takes your hip joint through its full range of motion in all 3 planes of movement, which helps break up adhesions and scar tissue that may have formed over years of limited activity. It also activates the deep hip stabilizers that are essential for balance and fall prevention, but in a way that feels natural and controlled rather than challenging or frightening. People who practice crane takes flight regularly often notice that stairs become easier to navigate, that they feel more confident walking on uneven surfaces, and that the chronic hip pain they thought was just arthritis begins to fade. The fifth and final movement is called Peaceful Warrior Rest, and it focuses on what might be the most important yet most neglected aspect of health for people over 60, the quality of your nervous system recovery and regeneration. This movement recognizes that true healing and strength building happens not during activity, but during the deep rest periods when your body has a chance to repair and rebuild itself. The problem is that as we age, many of us develop chronic stress patterns that keep our nervous systems stuck in a state of low-level alarm, even when we are trying to relax. This constant background tension prevents deep, restorative sleep and interferes with your body's natural healing processes, which is why you might feel tired even after a full night's sleep, or why minor aches and pains seem to persist no matter what you try. Peaceful Warrior Rest teaches your nervous system how to truly let go and enter the deep parasympathetic state where healing actually occurs. You perform this movement lying on your back in bed, with a pillow under your knees and your arms resting comfortably at your sides. The technique involves a very specific sequence of gentle muscle contractions, followed by complete relaxation, starting with your toes and systematically working up through your entire body. You begin by taking a slow, deep breath and gently tensing the muscles in your toes and feet for exactly 5 seconds, not straining or squeezing hard, but creating just enough tension that you can clearly feel those muscles working. After 5 seconds, you release the tension completely and exhale slowly, imagining that all the stress and tightness is flowing out of your feet like water draining from a bucket. You then take another deep breath and gently tense your calf muscles for 5 seconds before releasing and exhaling. You continue this pattern, moving up through your thighs, glutes, abdominal muscles, back, shoulders, arms, hands, neck, and finally your face, taking about 20 minutes to complete the entire sequence. By the time you reach your face, most people find that their entire body feels like it is melting into the mattress, and many fall asleep before completing the final steps. This progressive relaxation technique not only helps you fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply, but it also resets your nervous system in a way that reduces inflammation, improves immune function, and enhances your body's ability to repair damaged tissues while you sleep. What makes these 5 Japanese movements so remarkably effective is that they work together as a complete system, each one supporting and enhancing the benefits of the others. When you practice Gentle Dragon Awakening, you are not just improving your spinal flexibility, you are also preparing your nervous system for the deeper work of Mountain River Flow. The breathing and core stability you develop in Mountain River Flow supports the fluid movements of Willow Branch Sway, which in turn creates the mobility foundation needed for Crane Takes Flight. Finally, Peaceful Warrior Rest allows your body to fully integrate all the benefits you have created through the other 4 movements, ensuring that the positive changes become permanent rather than temporary. Research conducted at the Okinawa Institute of Longevity Studies has shown that people who practice this complete sequence consistently show measurable improvements in balance strength, flexibility, and pain levels within just 4 weeks. Even more remarkably, brain scans reveal increased activity but in areas associated with motor control and body awareness, suggesting that these movements actually help reverse some of the age-related changes in the nervous system that contribute to falls and injuries in older adults. Dr. Hiroshi Nakamura, who has been studying traditional Japanese health practices for over 30 years, explains that the Western approach to aging often focuses on managing decline rather than promoting vitality. But these ancient techniques prove that significant improvement is possible at any age when you work with your body's natural healing systems rather than against them. The key to getting maximum benefit from these movements is consistency rather than intensity. Unlike Western exercise programs that often demand daily progression and increased difficulty, these Japanese techniques recognize that sustainable change happens through gentle repetition over time. Most people begin to notice improvements in how they feel within the first week, with more significant changes in pain levels, energy, and mobility becoming apparent after about a month of regular practice. The ideal routine is to perform all 5 movements in sequence every morning, taking about 30 to 40 minutes total, but even practicing just 2 or 3 of the movements consistently will produce noticeable benefits. What matters most is that you approach these practices with patience and self-compassion, understanding that your body has been developing its current patterns over many years, and healing happens in layers rather than all at once. Many practitioners find it helpful to keep a simple journal, noting how they feel before and after their morning routine, as this helps them recognize improvements that might otherwise go unnoticed. Remember that pain and stiffness often fluctuate naturally, so do not be discouraged if you have days that feel more difficult than others. These temporary setbacks are normal parts of the healing process, not signs that the techniques are not working. I want to share one more story with you about the transformative power of these ancient practices. Robert, a 68-year-old retired engineer from Minnesota, contacted me 6 months ago in desperation. He had been dealing with chronic lower back pain for over a decade, had undergone 2 unsuccessful surgeries, and was taking increasingly strong pain medications just to get through each day. His doctors were talking about a 3rd surgery, and he felt like he was running out of options. Robert was skeptical about trying what he called gentle movements when heavy-duty medical interventions had failed, but his wife convinced him to give the Japanese techniques 30 days before making any decisions about additional surgery. Within the first week of practicing these 5 movements every morning, Robert noticed that he was sleeping better and waking up with less stiffness. By the end of the first month, his pain had decreased by about 40%, and he was able to reduce his pain medication for the first time in years. 6 months later, Robert is completely pain-free, has not needed any medication for over 3 months, and recently started hiking again for the first time since his early 50s. He told me that these simple movements gave him back not just his physical comfort, but his confidence and his hope for the future. Robert's story is not unique. I receive similar testimonials regularly from people who have discovered that their bodies have far more healing potential than they ever imagined possible. If you want to accelerate your results even faster, I highly encourage you to check out the first link below this video where you can learn about a natural supplement that works synergistically with these Japanese movements to reduce inflammation, support joint health, and enhance your body's natural repair processes. This supplement contains traditional Japanese herbs that have been used for centuries to promote vitality in older adults, combined with modern nutrients that are specifically chosen for their ability to support the same physiological pathways that these movements activate. People who combine the supplement with the daily movement practice often see improvements that are twice as fast and twice as significant as those who do the movements alone. The supplement is completely natural, has no known side effects when used as directed, and comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it completely risk-free. I know that living with chronic pain, stiffness, and the fear that your body is only going to get worse as you age can feel incredibly isolating and discouraging. You might have tried so many different approaches that you are starting to doubt whether anything can really help or whether you are just going to have to accept that this is how the rest of your life is going to feel. I want you to know that your frustration is completely understandable and that the fact that other treatments have not worked does not mean that you are broken or beyond help. What it means is that you simply have not yet found the approach that works with your body's natural healing abilities rather than trying to force change through aggressive interventions. This channel exists to be your trusted companion on your journey back to comfort, strength, and vitality. Every video I create is designed to give you practical, proven techniques that can make a real difference in how you feel, and I am committed to providing you with the most accurate, helpful information available anywhere. When you subscribe to this channel, you are joining a community of people who refuse to accept that aging has to mean suffering and who are actively working together to discover and share the most effective natural approaches to healthy aging. You will receive notifications when I publish new content, which means you will be among the first to learn about breakthrough techniques, traditional wisdom, and cutting-edge research that can help you continue improving your health and vitality. Please take a moment right now to hit that like button if this video has been helpful to you, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss our latest discoveries. Your support means everything to me and helps ensure that I can continue bringing you this valuable content. I also want to remind you about that special supplement I mentioned, which you can learn about by clicking the first link below this video. This is not some mass-produced product that you can find in every store, but a carefully formulated supplement that contains specific nutrients and traditional herbs that have been proven to work synergistically with gentle movement practices like the ones I have shared today. The ingredients are sourced from the same regions of Japan where these movement techniques originated, and the formulation is based on the traditional combinations that Japanese healers have used for over 500 years to help their communities stay strong and pain-free well into advanced age. What makes this supplement particularly special is that it addresses the underlying causes of age-related decline at the cellular level, providing your muscles, joints, and nervous system with the specific nutrients they need to repair, rebuild, and maintain optimal function. Most people notice increased energy and reduced stiffness within the first week of taking the supplement, with more significant improvements in pain, mobility, and overall vitality becoming apparent over the following month. Remember, this comes with a complete 60-day money-back guarantee, so if you are not completely satisfied with your results, you can return it for a full refund, no questions asked. That means you can try it completely risk-free and see for yourself how much of a difference it can make when combined with your daily Japanese movement practice. Your body is not your enemy, even though it might feel that way sometimes. It is an incredibly sophisticated healing system that is constantly working to repair, rebuild, and restore itself, and it wants to feel good just as much as you want it to feel good. These 5 Japanese movements that I have shared with you today are simply a way of communicating with your body in its own language, giving it the gentle stimulation and support it needs to remember how to function the way it was designed to. When you practice these techniques consistently with patience and compassion for yourself, you are not just moving your body, you are participating in a conversation that has the power to transform not just how you feel physically, but how you feel about your future and your potential for continued growth and vitality. You deserve to wake up each morning feeling grateful for your body rather than frustrated with it, and you deserve to move through your days with confidence, comfort, and joy in your physical experience. These ancient Japanese techniques can help you reclaim that experience, one gentle movement at a time. Thank you for watching, thank you for taking action to improve your health, and thank you for being part of our community of people who are committed to aging with strength, grace, and vitality.